Okay, welcome back, guys. Let's take a look at this trade for Wednesday, May 6th. I'm excited to talk about this one because this trade made use of some of the recent data and refinements I've been working on, specifically around when to take the short iron condor and when to stay out of it, and when the conditions may actually point to a different trade altogether. Coming into the day, the broader setup looked like a neutral structure. The 200 SMA on the 5-minute chart was relatively flat during the previous session, so directionally we did not have a strong trend signal. We're also above the 20 SMA on the daily chart, which puts us in a low volatility environment based on my system. So normally that combination points toward a short iron condor around midday, but this is where the newer data comes in. So I've been looking more closely at the first hour range and the size of the move from the open to the time of the trade itself. And the goal is to identify when a short iron condor has a higher probability of success, when we should stay out of that trade, and when the market may actually be setting up for something different. On this day, around the time we would normally execute the short iron condor, price had moved outside the first hour range. That part by itself is not necessarily a problem. That usually shows a high success rate for the short iron condor. The more important data point is the size of the range from the open to the time of the trade. That move was about 0.75% of the SPX open price, which was above the threshold I'm using for the short iron condor. So even though the original environment pointed toward a short iron condor, the updated intraday conditions told us not to take that trade. And based on the new data, this type of setup may actually favor the opposite structure, a long iron condor, also called an inverse iron condor. So if you're not familiar with the long iron condor, it's basically the opposite idea of a short iron condor. With a short iron condor, we want price to stay inside our range. With a long iron condor, we want significant movement in either direction. So we need price to move through one of the debit spreads, either to the upside or the downside. So at 11:44 Central Standard Time, I sent out the alert to buy the long condor at 215 per lot. That gave us a potential reward of 285 since this is a 5 wide structure. The short strikes were 73.25 and 73.55. So from the time of entry, which would have been around here, we needed the market to move more than 15 points in either direction. And after putting the trade on, price first expanded to the downside. Then it reversed and made a much larger move to the upside. And that upside move pushed well through the call debit spread here, which is exactly what we needed. So since my take profit target is usually to leave about 20 on the table, we were able to sell the position for 480 later in the day, I believe in the final 15 minutes or so. So the final result was this: we bought the long iron condor for 215. We sold it for 480. That gave us a profit of 265 per lot. And this was another successful trade, but more importantly, it's a good example of why these refinements matter. And the initial market environment pointed toward a neutral structure, would normally call for a short iron condor, but the intraday data changed the playbook. The range had expanded too much by midday, which filtered out the short iron condor and pointed us toward the long iron condor instead. So we trusted the updated data, recognized that conditions had shifted, and executed the trade that better fit the setup. So that's exactly the kind of adaptive but still mechanical decision making I'm trying to build into this approach. If you want to follow these trades in real time, you can join the group using the link below. I post the trade alerts inside the Discord channel, and alerts are also sent via SMS, so you can follow along as the setups trigger. So if you're interested in the 0DTE SPX alerts, the link will be below this video. If you find these recaps helpful, give the video a like and subscribe for more 0DTE SPX trade breakdowns. And I'll see you guys in the next video.